Our thought patterns shape the quality of our lives. Behind work stress, family relationships, and health anxieties, there are often automatic negative thoughts, judgments, and biased thinking patterns. The power to consciously observe and effectively change these patterns is the first step toward a rich and flexible life. Why can thought patterns be changed? Thought patterns are cultivated through repetitive thinking and become habituated. However, modern neuroscience shows that precisely because these patterns are habits, they can be rewritten through the mechanism of neuroplasticity. Research in neuroaesthetics demonstrates that repeatedly engaging in specific thoughts and behaviors strengthens those neural circuits and promotes the formation of new pathways. A famous study of London taxi drivers found that their hippocampus, the brain region involved in memory, structurally enlarged as they continuously memorized complex city maps. This is clear evidence that the brain changes with each thought. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is a psychological approach that focuses on how thoughts, behaviors, and emotions influence each other. It targets automatic thoughts that arise unconsciously and core beliefs at our foundation, working to modify and reconstruct them. Numerous randomized controlled trials have confirmed CBT's effectiveness for depression, anxiety disorders, panic disorder, and obsessive-compulsive disorder. For instance, meta-analysis of adults with moderate to severe depressive symptoms showed that CBT groups had significantly improved symptoms compared to control groups. Why is the combination of CBT and neuroplasticity optimal? CBT provides powerful methods for recognizing and logically reconstructing thought patterns. However, neuroplasticity is essential for the brain to retain and habituate these changes. Recent research using fMRI brain imaging has observed functional and structural changes in the anterior, cingulate cortex and temporal prefrontal areas in subjects who received CBT. This suggests that intervention in thought patterns isn't merely theoretical, but physically affects the brain. Let me explain the core concept of automatic thoughts. These are thoughts that instantly arise when facing events and greatly influence our emotional reactions. For example, when a supervisor criticizes you at work, one person might think, "I'm really useless," while another might think, "I just had a bad day today." The former is a negative automatic thought, while the latter is more neutral or constructive. The crucial point is that automatic thoughts are often groundless, extreme, and distort reality. We feel emotions based on them: sadness, anxiety, anger, and act before verifying their truth. Automatic thoughts often contain typical cognitive distortions, which are the main cause of thought patterns. Let me introduce 10 representative patterns. All-or-nothing thinking treats everything in black and white, recognizing no middle ground. Overgeneralization applies one event to everything. Mental filtering focuses only on negative aspects while ignoring positives. Discounting positives dismisses good things as mere coincidence. Jumping to conclusions makes pessimistic predictions without evidence. Emotional reasoning believes that anxious or angry feelings are facts. Should statements bind oneself with must and should. Labeling judges entire people based on partial behaviors. Personalization blames oneself for unrelated events. Catastrophizing imagines worst-case scenarios and takes things more seriously than reality. CBT has a basic framework called the CBT triangle, which is a cyclical model where thoughts, arising first in response to events, generate emotions, which then determine behaviors. The core of this model is that emotions and behaviors are influenced not by events themselves, but by how we interpret them, our thoughts. The first step in changing thought patterns is awareness. This means looking at your automatic thoughts and cognitive distortions from a metacognitive perspective. Ask yourself, what thoughts was I having then? What evidence supports those thoughts? Could there have been another way of seeing it? CBT's restructuring process consists of 4 major steps. Step 1 is awareness recording automatic thoughts. The first thing to do is write down your thoughts, using a thought record that organizes information about the event. Automatic thoughts, emotions rated from 0 to 100%, and behavioral responses. Step 2 is questioning finding cognitive distortions. Ask whether the thought is evidence-based, if other perspectives are possible, and how you'd respond if a friend said the same thing. Step 3 is rewriting toward more balanced thinking. For instance, transform "I'm incompetent" into "my opinion." Not being accepted and my ability are separate. Issues there's room to change my communication approach. Step 4 is verification through behavioral experiments. Test whether new thoughts are correct through actual actions. Neuroplasticity refers to the brain's ability to change structurally and functionally through experience, learning, and repetition. Once it was believed that adult brains don't change, but modern neuroscience has overturned this view, revealing that brains continue changing throughout life. 3 conditions trigger neuroplasticity: repetition and practice, emotionally charged learning, and focused engagement. Repeatedly rethinking from new perspectives strengthens the neural circuits corresponding to those perspectives. Changing thought patterns means rewiring the brain. One study found that after 8 weeks of CBT, subjects' brains showed increased prefrontal cortex activity and decreased amygdala overactivity. This suggests that circuits for logical thinking and self-control were strengthened, while circuits for emotional and reflexive responses were suppressed. This change occurs through the synergy of CBT and neuroplasticity. To establish new thought circuits in the brain, habituation is essential. Set specific times for practice. Focus on one theme at a time. Use visualization tools. Accumulate small experiments. Connect continuation with a sense of achievement. These approaches promote brain rewiring and make change sustainable. The ultimate goal isn't eliminating all negative thoughts. In reality, anxiety and self-criticism sometimes serve useful survival strategies. The new perspective gained through CBT and neuroplasticity is this: view negative thoughts, not as enemies but as clues. Having a metacognitive perspective that allows you to observe thoughts with distance, rather than being consumed by them, becomes the foundation of a flexible mind. Your brain can change. This is a scientific fact, not mere positive thinking. CBT is the technology for logically questioning thought structures. Neuroplasticity is the mechanism for establishing this in the brain. You yourself are the being that continues to change by utilizing both. The quiet revolution begins from within you. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. If you found this helpful,